I would not do Molly, personally. I don't know if we're allowed to talk about all that on here, but I just
You
wouldn't.
can talk about whatever you want to talk about.
I would just stick to like maybe some mushrooms.
Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new podcast episode of Keeping It Juicy. I'm not getting tattooed today. I'm gonna get my hair done. And this is the amazing Megan.
Hello.
She flew all the way here from LA just to do my hair because I don't really trust anyone else to do my hair, and she's the best that there is.
Yeah, we're gonna go back dark, how it was just a few months ago.
Very true. Normally, I get my hair done after like a big change or like a breakup, but I did not go through a breakup recently. I'm just really over the blonde, and I'm a very low maintenance girl, I feel like. And I just don't want to have to go and dye my hair blonde every couple months. So we're going back dark.
Are you ready?
I'm so ready.
Ready. All right. No going back. Just kidding.
There's no going back.
Unless you go to Chicago and see your sister again.
My sister's also, she also does hair, and she's the one that made it blonde, and Megan just makes it dark for me.
We tag team.
Yeah, we get tag team in my head, but
We do each other's dirty work, I like to say.
very true. So, when did you start doing hair?
I feel like I've always been a hairstylist at heart because my dad has owned a salon since I was born. But I'm going on almost 10 years now. I started officially in 2015, but I didn't get my license till 2017. But yeah, once it hits 2025, I'll be like officially taking clients for 10 years.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
I know, it feels crazy.
How did you know from like an early age that that's what you wanted to do for your career?
I always wanted to be a fashion, like go into fashion and be a fashion designer. But because, you know, I saw that the way my dad got to make his own schedule, being a hairstylist is recession proof. You're not gonna get, you know, bought out by robots in the near future. And just having the freedom, you can also work in so many different industries with doing beauty, and I didn't have to go to college. I knew that I didn't want to go to college. So that was just a really fast way to do what I wanted to do and like not be stuck in school and have the freedom that I wanted.
Yeah, that's awesome. I went to college, I tried it out. Definitely school wasn't for me. I went for 2 years and I was like, all right, I think I could be doing something better with my time. And I was correct about that. So if you think college isn't for you, maybe it's not, but give it a try. I had fun. I went to Iowa for 2 years and partied it up, made some awesome friends, and got to experience a little college lifestyle. That was fun.
I think college is good as like for a soul searching situation, but going to like this utopia world where you don't really have real money and you're going to class and it feels like you're an adult, but you don't have as much real responsibilities. Unless you go to USC or UCLA or one of those schools that's in a big city where you feel like it's normal. I feel like it's really hard to go back to normal life. I watched a lot of people like struggle or move back home, not find a job because they were just so used to that lifestyle.
Yeah, I can imagine that. So other than doing hair, like hair coloring and cutting, you also make insanely cool wigs. What got you into that?
When COVID started, my fiance was managing this DJ husband and wife duo, and they also had a wig company. His wife, shout out to Tessa, she loved wearing wigs. So she was like, why don't I just make my own online wig business? So she bought the wigs that she knew she liked, and then she would sell them online. And I was like, give me a wig.
Yeah.
So she gave me 5, all different colors. I styled them completely different. I made one edgy, one was pretty glam, one was like kind of boho, and then another one was just typical like rave fashion.
Yeah.
And we put them online on Instagram, and all of them sold in less than a minute. So that's when
my
she
gosh.
was like, oh, you're onto something. And I was like, I told you. And throughout COVID, I was just making either wigs that I wanted to make and then we would drop them and sell them, or people would reach out for custom specific colors, types of styles, or, sometimes if a wig sold really fast, somebody would DM me and be like, oh, I really wanted this. And I'd be like, oh, I can make you your own.
Yeah.
Type of thing. But that lasted for a while. I think once I got back into the salon, it was hard to manage all of it, to go in and see my clients. And eventually she parted ways with the company and I really was in it with her.
Yeah.
So when she left, I was so busy, it just was a natural separation. But I still have a lot of like specific wig customers and all kinds of stuff that will reach out before Burning Man or festivals, or if they just want something.
You made me the coolest wig. I have it in my room and I'm totally obsessed with it. It's like a blonde wig with the ends are like blue. And then she puts these cute little braids with all these charms in it. And it's just like the prettiest wig. I used it for my Halloween costume. I was the mother of dragons.
Khaleesi, yeah, I did a lot of Khaleesi
It
wigs.
was so badass.
I probably did 5 Khaleesi wigs.
Oh my goodness.
Or more.
What would you say is your favorite part about being a hairstylist and like colorist and everything?
I really like, helping people be their best version of themselves. And it's easier when you're making them look good as well. Because it's like, look good, feel good. They go hand in hand, and I can do that in one sitting. And I think my favorite thing is just being able to wear so many hats under the same umbrella, like whether it's production for a photo shoot, or I'm building a custom wig out of my own brain and creations, or I'm taking a bunch of clients in the salon or traveling and working and doing all the festival hair. If I did only just one thing, I would be really bored. I couldn't just be a blonde specialist or only do haircuts or only do one. I can't even only be in the salon.
That makes sense. Where do you get your inspiration to make these cool wigs? Like all the designs and braids?
A lot of the times it comes from within.
Yeah?
I tap in and I just go to a different place. I think my frequency gets like really elevated and I just get into it. Because sometimes someone will ask me, like my first Khaleesi wig, I had a bunch of people that wanted me to remake it and I was like, I don't know how I made that. Luckily, I took so many photos of it, so...
You could kind of remake it.
Yeah, but it was not easy at all.
That's wild. Are you into art?
Yeah.
Like painting, drawing?
I think I like more building crafts, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think I'm okay at painting, but I'm not necessarily. I think painting and makeup artists are more similar in that sense.
Yeah.
I like watercolor too.
Ooh, yeah.
And like spray paint.
So a bunch of art.
Yeah.
Different types
all
of art.
kinds of art.
I love
also like using like the hot glue gun or like adding the chains and things, like doing that on hair. I felt like it was how I really blended my fashion with hair.
I think also, before you, I have never in my life seen people with tinsel in their hair.
Yeah.
And ever since I started coming to see you, we put tinsel in my hair before tinsel was like big.
Yeah.
Now I feel like everyone's getting tinsel, but I feel like you started it.
Oh my God. I feel like that about the little small individual braids too.
Yeah.
I like did them on myself and then I saw Kylie Jenner with them and I was like, here we go.
Like she copied you.
Great. Yeah,
Kylie,
I was just like, well,
stop
everyone's gonna do
copying
this
Megan.
now. I need something new now.
But where'd you come up with putting the tinsel on a single strand of hair?
I did not come up with it. I actually had a coworker who wanted me to do them for her.
Okay.
So she taught me how to do them and then would do them in return for me. And then I was a gypsy for Halloween one year at Escape and I put all the little individual braids in my hair with the tinsels. Ooh. And I just didn't want to take them out that night, so I left it all in. And then I realized I could leave it in for like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So I did, and my friends were like, damn, I want that. I want the braids and the tinsels and the braids and the sparkles. And then it just became a thing. I was like, I felt like I was branding all of my friends.
It's kind of crazy because no matter where I go, where I am, the most complimented thing that I get is the tinsel.
Yeah.
And it's normally from like older women, and they're just like, how in the world did you get that in your hair? Like, that is so cool, oh my God. And like ask so many questions. And I'm like, yeah, it's tied to a single strand, no heat, no damage. When your hair falls out, it falls out with it, and harmless.
You're a good spokesperson.
I am. I mean, selling the tinsel.
I tell people, I'm like, if you don't like attention, I wouldn't recommend.
Very true. I would feel that. So you grew up in LA, right?
Kind of. I grew up in the suburbs.
Okay, suburbs.
A little north in this little town called Oak Park. They claim themselves as the bubble and are proud of it because it's such like a tiny, tight-knit, small community. We had one school district. It was our own school district. So if you got in trouble, like you got in trouble.
And like everyone knew.
Yeah. And it was, you know, your friends' parents were on the school board. So there wasn't, I mean, not mine, because my mom wasn't really cliquey like that. My parents were very different. I had divorced parents and a lot of kids didn't. And my dad lived in the valley in like a different town and owned a hair salon, which was also very different.
Yeah.
A lot of people's parents were like accountants or business, like whatever. And so I think just from an early age, I knew that I wasn't cut from the same cloth as my environment.
Did you get along with the kids your age?
I had a lot of friends in high school. They were not the best friends. I definitely prioritized partying, going out, like was in a lot of drama and all that stuff. But I walked away with a lot of really good relationships. They weren't necessarily the people I ate lunch with every day.
Yeah.
But they were people that I just stayed close friends with. And I was always friends with everybody else's friend groups. They would just be like, you can come to my party, but don't bring your friends, type of thing. So I thought the school that I went to was really great. I didn't appreciate it till I left it. But as far as like education-wise and the teachers and the types of kids that come out of that school, they're all pretty good people. Just the people I chose to hang out with.
Yeah, because I know you played softball.
Yeah.
Did you play any other sports or just softball?
I did a little bit of soccer, but I wasn't very good. I did basketball for 1 year when I was 10.
Okay, but softball was like the main.
Oh yeah, I was very involved in it.
Yeah.
I did travel, I did high school, fall ball, like all the things.
That's like literally me. I did every single softball team known to mankind that I could possibly do. Obsessed.
I probably could have gone to the Olympics for it. My, the person who, what do you call that? My mentor was, her name was Raven Chavain, and she was the third baseman for the U.S. Olympics.
Oh my gosh.
And she was also left-handed, and I was a slapper. And we just vibed really well. And I feel like if I would have tried to pursue it, I probably could have figured it out.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to go to college. So I just, and there's no league beyond it. So I was like, what am I going to do? Go to college to play a sport when I don't even need a degree.
Yeah.
And then when it's over, I'm just going to be like a coach or something.
That's the thing when I thought about like, okay, I love playing sports and I would love to do this professionally, but for women, it's like the only sport really is soccer, I feel like.
Yeah.
Like,
maybe
that they get paid well.
Yeah.
It's like,
or basketball, but that's just like, I wasn't built for that.
I wasn't good enough at basketball for that. But softball, that would have been great. If only it was as popular as baseball.
But at the time too, like the internet was not what it was. I probably could have used that more to my advantage. Like from there you can get sponsorships and things like that. That didn't really exist when I was in high school as much because you didn't have your own platform essentially to promote yourself. So I'm kind of glad that it worked out the way it did because I'm happy where I ended up.
Yeah, and you have like a full career and got your shit figured out. Was it like, how is that feeling when you found what you're passionate about? Like, I feel like pretty young and you just knew that that's what you wanted to do.
It felt natural. Because I think my parents also were just kind of like, my parents almost told me that that's what I was going to do just because I would always cut my doll's hair and my sister's hair and all of that. So they just thought it was cute and funny. And it felt very natural. And it wasn't until I graduated and I had friends who I always thought were more successful than I was, like just in school or whatever.
Yeah.
Smarter and all that. And they would say like, you know, you had it figured out so young. Like I always strived for that. I just never understood. So it wasn't until I became an adult where I really appreciated it. It's kind of nice when you feel like everything's been handed to you, but you knew you worked really hard for it.
Yeah.
There's no way to like maintain getting things handed to you.
I agree, 100%.
You might get a job, but that just because you know someone doesn't mean you're gonna keep it.
And it's also the feeling of working towards something and actually putting in time, like blood, sweat, and tears, and reaching a certain point of success where you're like, damn, I really did this. It's like just, you're proud of yourself.
Good. Because I, in high school, had 2 jobs, took an extracurricular class, and did varsity sports. So some days I had 0 free time. I was just going from one thing to another. And once I became an adult and I was doing that between going to beauty school and working in the salon, it was so fun. I wasn't going from beauty school to like a restaurant, half-assing it. I switched to the night program and everybody there was just, took their situation more seriously.
Yeah.
And I just felt like a real adult.
Yeah, I love that. So I know you brought up the magical word of fiance. Oh, yes. But before we get into finding your perfect human and your fiance, what was your relationship like before that? Like your dating history, who did you normally go for, like the types of guys?
I was always like a boy crazy kind of girl.
Yeah.
But I was a monogamous dater for the most part. Like I had a boyfriend in 5th grade.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
I don't even think I hugged a boy until 7th grade.
Really?
And I was so nervous to even hug a boy. I was like, First kiss, 8th grade. Yeah,
there was a kid in my 5th grade class and I was like, he's cute. And then he ended up being my boyfriend by the end of the year.
Oh my God.
And that was just kind of the play throughout. But when I was a freshman, I was dating somebody who had already graduated. That was pretty crazy.
Okay.
Obviously there was toxicity going on there for a 19-year-old to want to date a 14-year-old, but
yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, that was not very serious at all. And then I had like another on and off boyfriend after that, but I did think that I was gonna marry a dude.
Yes.
For like, I don't know, from what would it be, like 16 to 21-ish. But
what was the turning point? What made you switch?
Well, I found out he cheated on me, but it had been 3 years prior.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
And everybody in our friend group knew about it.
Well,
it wasn't my friend group, obviously, but it was like, you know what I mean? The friends that were associated with him who I had known since elementary school, but I also had friends from other schools and areas, whatever. Eventually, like, word spread to my circle. And my friends told me. And unfortunately, you know, like to find out third party, I was like, can't go back.
Yeah.
There would be no trust. I wouldn't be comfortable. Like if I couldn't go somewhere, I would just be worried. And like, that's not a healthy relationship for anybody. And obviously my ego was not having it.
Yeah.
So I just cut all of them off. I really stopped hanging out with anybody in my hometown for a while. And just started meeting more artists, less college, school type people, and going out in LA and realizing, you know, you can do whatever you want in this world. You don't have to feel subjected to clocking in anywhere.
Yeah.
You can set a schedule, wake up at your time, or like just at least do it on your terms. And it was inspiring to meet people who had the confidence to just leave like the Midwest and come out here and make it happen.
That's me.
Yeah. Like, for me, it was intense to do it just from Oak Park to LA and to cut out my whole friend group, and I still had my family around.
Yeah, that's true.
Working at my dad's salon, living at my dad's. So it was like I had so much of a crutch. But also, people were just kinder and related to them better. And then the day I met my fiance, my life changed because I feel like we pretty much started being together very quick after that.
Yeah.
And it was just no looking back.
So was your fiance the first girl you ever dated?
Yeah. That was like the first girl I ever was like kissed or was intimate with. Like my friends and I would like practice making out in middle school, but like that didn't count. That was more like...
You practiced making out with your friends in middle school?
Only because I had a boyfriend first and they were like nervous and they're like, I don't know like how, you know what I mean? They're like, will you show me? And so it was just more like, it was more like in 8th grade, but yeah,
okay,
I mean, it was just, I was just the wise one, I guess. Which is funny because I felt like I was like a hoe in middle school, and by the time I got to high school, I became like very prude.
Okay.
Because my friends became hoes. And so it was like, I had kissed a lot of boys by middle school, and then that's where I just was like, nah.
You're like, I've kissed enough.
Yeah, I'm like, you know, this lifestyle ain't for me. It's getting messy.
Oh my gosh, this reminds me, I went on a cruise. It was like summer going into 8th grade. And this is like when I had my first kiss, and I'm on the cruise, and you know, you have like the kids clubs and the teenage clubs. So I was in the teenage club. Oh, yes. So like, what am I gonna do on this boat? Yeah, I used to sneak in the teenage club all the time. So I'm like, we're hanging out with everybody, and then we're like, let's just keep hanging out after the club hours or whatever. So we're just roaming around the boat, and then we go to this girl's room who, you know, she's definitely a little slutty for this age. And she's like, let's play spin the bottle.
There's always
and
that one.
I've never kissed a person before, and we're playing spin the bottle. So I had my
How
first.
Old
are you? I don't know, what, going into 8th grade, how old was I? 15? 14? Right?
Yeah.
Something like that. And yeah, I had my first 3 kisses in one night. Spin the bottle. It was like, I was so scared.
You caught up real quick.
I was so nervous. And then I went back into 8th grade, and I was like, I'm a fucking pro. I know how to kiss everybody.
I know how to kiss everybody.
Oh God, I didn't have like a real boyfriend though, I wouldn't say, until high school though. I didn't really date in middle school.
Yeah, I don't think I had a real boyfriend until my like senior year of high school, which was cool. We had like the, you know, you get to do the prom night and the senior activities and all that good stuff.
Very, very true.
But yeah, it's like, it's kind of crazy when you have this idea of what your life's gonna look like, and then all of a sudden you're like, I have to change this.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so first girl you ever dated, you end up getting engaged to. Like, how did your family react? Because it kind of came out of nowhere.
I feel like they might have just been more confused because I was so boy crazy.
Yeah.
And that was like the most confusing part. But my family had met her already. So they just were kind of like, okay. I didn't really give them a choice to have an opinion. I just kind of told them. Like, I didn't ask, what do you think? Do you care? Like,
it was kind of like, this is
I didn't even say
partner.
like, I'm telling you this because of whatever. I was just like, Corinne and I are together.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's no like backlash or anything?
No, because I think like my boyfriends before my most recent ex were so toxic. Okay. And then when all of that stuff had happened, like, I think that my parents could already see my personality shifting into something like really mature just by being around Corinne, that they had nothing to argue about it. You know what I mean? So it was like, when someone's like flying you around the world and taking care of you and making sure you're like, that you're coming home, you know? I feel like at that point, the trust has already been,
they could probably see that she's just making you a better person and like actually caring and taking care of you and loving you. Yeah. Love that.
Like, I don't know, I think if she would have been a cause for concern one of the trips, something would have gone down.
Right. You know, you're the first person on the podcast who has a fiance and is like getting married. Really? Everyone else has been single.
I've been the first one to be engaged for like 5 years. Now all my friends are like getting engaged and they're planning their weddings, and we're like all catching up. It's getting nice.
That's so exciting. Oh my goodness. Okay, so but before this perfect relationship, in your past relationships, what are some icks that guys have given you?
I think the biggest one that I never noticed till I met Corinne was not honoring commitments. If you say you're gonna do something, do it, okay? Yeah. If you decide you don't wanna do it, you should still do it if you said you were gonna do it. If it's for yourself, okay, fine, so be it. But like, that's why I don't say yes to something that I already am not down to do, because sometimes I make a plan and I don't want to do it, even though I wanted to at the time. So don't say yeah if you know you're not gonna want to do it. That was a big one.
That shit drives me crazy. Like if you say, I'm gonna call you later, and you don't call me later, I'm gonna be fuming at night. I'm gonna be like, what the actual fuck?
Because you didn't have to say you were gonna call.
Right, and it's also like a lie.
Yeah, you could have even said, I'm gonna try to call you later, and it's not even as bad. Yeah. But also I think allowing me to be my most authentic self, because I'm different. I have like a weird personality, or like I'll just be a way that people maybe aren't used to. And I don't know if it was like intimidating, or maybe they just didn't like it and had to do some shadow work. Maybe that's how they want to be inside. I don't know. But instead of being like, don't do that, change this, refine this, it's weird how you do X, Y, Z. If I'm like really drunk and embarrassing myself, that's a different story. Please tell me to be quiet. But like, if I'm naturally reacting to something that I got excited over and you made me feel weird about it, like, I don't know if that's my person.
Definitely not. I think a key to a relationship, I don't know, I haven't been in one in a while, but if I was to get in one, like you have to accept the person you're with. You have to accept your partner 100%, like for all of them, for their flaws, for everything. And if you can't accept them, then that's not your person.
I've always gone for the more quiet and like mysterious ones, I feel like. Because it levels out with like how extra I can be.
Yeah.
But sometimes like you notice that could come with like an insecurity or something like that, where Corinne didn't have that. She's just a little more reserved. And so I don't know, I never had that issue with her where it's like, you take all my attention or something.
Yeah, I've definitely seen that situation because I've hung out with both of you in different scenarios where you're like super outgoing, bubbly, like running around, and she's very like reserved and cool, calm, and collected.
Well, and she even said too, like, I guess it was EDC, one of the first ones she brought me to, and I guess I was like bringing people over to her to say hi or to like meet her or whatever. Like I would meet someone and it was like agents and like talent buyers and not just like random people. And she's like, wow, I could just sit here and she'll help me like work. I love it.
Oh, that's awesome. How did you know that she was the one?
I just looked back and it was 5 years later. I mean, I was just like, every issue we've ever had, we don't scream. Like the only time we raise our voices is if it's like something gross in the sink. She's like, what is this? Or like, you know what I mean? Like, or she'll like have the shower really hot and I'm like, what are you doing? Your hair's gonna like crumble. But when we have like actual issues, we don't scream, we don't slam doors, we don't break anything. We will separate if we need to, and then we come back and then we just talk it out. And I realize that you can resolve your issue, be even better after, and then never have that fight again if you just talk about it calmly. I was like, wow, because all I knew was toxic relationships. I mean, you know.
People not knowing how to communicate or like being in control of their emotions.
Yeah, or like even just breaking a door.
Breaking a door.
Yep, breaking doors. And so like, you know what's embarrassing?
I need to hear the story about breaking a door.
I mean, my dad's broken so many doors. Like I couldn't even tell you. I remember the most recent one I could remember, like 3 exes ago, and he broke the door, and then after his meltdown, he had to put the door back together. You know what I mean? And so it's like my sister would throw her phone when she would get mad. Like that was a thing. It's
so stupid.
Yeah. And so I don't know. She also came from that type of environment. And so I think when both of us at the same time just learned how to argue with each other, it made it very easy.
Yeah, honestly, I heard a podcast and it's talking about relationship advice and arguing. And it's like, you're not in a healthy relationship if you don't fight with each other, or if you don't argue, you're gonna have differences, you know, but it's the way that you argue which makes all the difference. Because it's like screaming at each other, that's gonna go nowhere. But if you can be like, okay, I need to get in control of my emotions, I don't wanna lash out on you, like give me a moment.
Yeah.
And then like being able to come back and talk it out, it's like that's the hardest part. Like walking away and giving up is easy, but like continue to show up and actually like fix stuff and talk is like the hard work. But that's like makes it work.
We have to take accountability.
Yes.
I noticed with that, like the minute I would say, even to myself, I don't even have to say it out loud, maybe I should have reacted differently or whatever. I almost feel like the answer then comes to me, or I'm less mad about the situation, or coincidentally that person comes in the room and they're not even mad at me. It's almost like the universe heard me and then like they felt it.
Yeah.
And then it's resolved. But if you're not gonna take accountability, you're never gonna figure out what the problem is.
Or like self-reflection. If you can't self-reflect and be like, dang, that text message came off really rude, let me like fix the way I worded it.
Yeah.
Or like, wow, I probably shouldn't have made that remark or that comment. Self-reflection.
There's like something powerful too in saying, you know, I apologize if I made you feel this way. Those weren't my intentions. You don't, even somebody who their ego doesn't want to admit it, you can at least say like, I apologize for making you feel a certain way.
Right.
I didn't want to do that. Unless you did want to make them feel a certain way is the only answer I'm getting.
Which I feel like is very just like evil, narcissistic humans that actually want to hurt other people.
Literally. And I don't know, have you noticed how like, if you ever have an issue, or maybe you like made a mistake or something and nobody knows about it, you're just like reflecting on yourself, but the minute you like take accountability, you feel better. Like you feel like the problem went away. Because now you just know you're not gonna do it again.
Yeah, I would agree. I do wanna touch base on this one funny story of when I had an ex that broke a door. Because it like made me giggle. So I knew for a fact I was being cheated on, right? I knew it. I just needed hard proof and evidence, correct? So I did what any high school girl would do. I couldn't get the phone, so I got the iPad and the iWatch. And I went into the bathroom and I'm sitting there and I am fucking, I have my phone, I'm taking pictures and I'm like, wow, that's crazy. Found out all the evidence I needed. And this man banging on the door because he knows he's in trouble. He knows he got caught. And like I didn't open it and then all of a sudden it's just doosh, the whole door in half on the ground. Oh my God. And I was just sitting there like
with the phones like
iPad and iPhone. I'm like, you're a cheater. I'm leaving.
But that happened to me. I was in high school and I was at this girl's house. She was having a party. And they went to like go get McDonald's, but she had told me her mom might be coming back to the house. And I used to sneak into her house for her to get us in if we were locked out. So I snuck into her room to like, cause she left the alcohol in there or something. And I noticed her phone was on the floor and I saw her mom had texted 3 times and I was like, oh my God, is her mom gonna come here and I'm here with all these people, you know?
Oh my God, yeah.
So I check her phone to make sure that her mom's not coming. Her mom's not coming. For some reason I kept scrolling. And as I was like, why am I doing this? This is my friend. Like, I shouldn't be nosy. Yeah. I see something, not from my ex, but the one from before, the in between. Okay, so I see a little emoji. I open it. You know the song Or Nah?
Yeah.
It was like that. Like, I was like beside myself. So my best friend, Becca, she goes, this is how I learned how to airdrop. I don't know if Becca probably remembers this. So Becca gets screenshots them real quick. She's airdropping it to me. I know this girl's about to come back, right?
Oh my God.
So I let everybody into her house because she wanted everyone in the back. I was like, fucking let them in. I let everybody in. I kind of briefed everybody on what was going on because I was like, when she gets here, shit's gonna go down and I'm leaving.
Holy shit.
So she comes in, doesn't even realize I let everybody in the house, like acted like it was normal. And I was like, I like actually am nervous talking about this because I remember the interaction and I just handed her phone with the messages open. And the worst part is that at the end, he was like, so has Megan done anything to cheat on me at the end. And she was like, damn, you made me do all that just to give you information. So like karma got her right at the bottom of it too.
Whoa.
And I hand her the phone and she like nervous laughed. She was like, like, let me explain. And I was like, there's nothing to explain.
That's crazy.
And I was just like, here you go. And then I think everybody left with me.
She took the whole party with her and the girls' pride.
We went to the park with all of our alcohol. Yes, we did. I took that New Amsterdam with me.
Oh my goodness. Good for you. That's crazy.
I guess it's my thing.
So your fiance is a tour manager, right? No,
No, she has a lot of things.
Yes.
So she has a management company.
Okay.
For other managers who also manage DJs, and other ecosystems that like branch off with that, with like marketing agencies, all that kind of stuff.
Who, can you name some of the DJs she manages?
I can name all of them if I can remember them.
Give me some good ones.
There's Nitty, who's also half of Side Piece. Miles O'Neill, On One, FOMO.
There's a bunch.
There's more.
There's.
It's hard because what happens, she's had so many, but people will be like, oh, I don't need a manager anymore, I'm gonna leave.
Yeah.
And then they like fall off and then you don't hear of them again, so.
Before you met her, were you still in the EDM music scene?
I was a GA raver.
Okay.
GA, I had been to two VIP events. One, I got a ticket from my dad's friend for like Life is Beautiful, which it's not even a rave like that. They have a rave stage. You know what I mean? It's just a festival more. And then my clients gave me their sugar daddy's VIP pass for Escape. And that's when I made my branded braids and like did all the tinsels and was the gypsy that year. So that was like a full circle moment.
That's awesome. So when you guys met, was she doing?
She was working.
Okay.
Yeah, she was like sitting behind the DJ.
Oh, is that, wait, how did you guys meet?
I got invited to one of her shows.
Okay.
And I remember Nitty was playing and I was excited to do backstage thing for my first time ever. It was at the Shrine, and I was at the Shrine the day before with friends just in GA, so it was cool to be back there with like a whole new world.
Yeah.
But I remember being in the crowd trying to go to the bathroom, and every time Ricky, Nitty, would like drop a really sick song and I like couldn't go to the bathroom. And then at the end we went up on stage and that's when I saw her because I don't think she was there when we first got there. And I just thought she had a cool vibe, but I needed to go to the bathroom. And she was like, I'll take you there, because she didn't want me wandering backstage of Shrine, which looking back, it's actually a very confusing green room.
It is super confusing.
She probably didn't want me strolling into other people's rooms or any shit like that either. So
yeah.
I thought she was like, oh, I'll walk you. So that's when I was kind of like, oh, she's like into it. But I had never. I was kind of scared. I also thought she was so cool, so I didn't want to like ruin like a cool friendship.
Yeah.
And then I think her artist could just tell we were vibing, and then we like went to the afters, and then she invited me to go to Universal.
Cute.
And that was like our first date. I didn't realize it was our first date. Oh. But she was like, knew what she was doing.
Yeah.
And I think my exes before, I couldn't really hang out with my girlfriends, or they didn't want to hang out around my girlfriends. They'd be like annoyed and just whatever. So a few days following, we picked her up from an event. She came to my house and we hung out with like all my girlfriends till 4 a.m. just talking. And I was like, I love having my significant other at girls' night.
Yeah.
This is cool. Even though she wasn't my significant other at all at this point. I don't even think we'd kissed yet, but I was like racking my brain.
Yeah, you're
deciding the possibilities. And I think we like literally kissed the next day.
Oh.
That was like our first kiss. We went out for my friend's birthday. And yeah.
That is so cute.
This was all like within 2 weeks of meeting each other. Yeah.
Because I met you through Dexter. I remember I moved to LA and I was like, I need to get these hair extensions out of my fucking head because they were so bad. I just needed them gone. And he got his hair done by you.
Yeah.
So we came, did that. But I always see you at like every festival. Thank God, because you're like the little beam of light just jumping around at the festivals.
I wish you were at more.
I know. I'm a grandma now, but maybe I will put my rave festival pants back on and come out.
Yeah, it's not even that crazy anymore.
I know, it's not.
You know?
But how is it being like in that kind of lifestyle of the music scene so much?
It is not for the weak. It is not for the weak. I could not be a DJ. I could not tour like that. It's really fun. And I like it because I always had really bad FOMO. So now when I have a day off and I can just be at home, I really appreciate it. I'm not sitting there all antsy or anything like that. And I feel like, you know, when I would go to festivals before, if my ex didn't want to go, he would just be like, I don't want to go. And he had gotten the ticket, so we just wouldn't go. But I like that we have purpose with traveling, with going to festivals. I think if it was all free willy-nilly, I wouldn't be able to handle it. But it feels like work sometimes. So there's just, you execute things better. And like everybody that's coming with you is seasoned, and naturally I have my chosen family with me at everything, which I love. So, you know, like if Ricky's girlfriend Gigi's gonna be there or something, it's like, you know, extra exciting. And just there, even just the team alone, the people that have to be there, we've been doing this for like 5 years, so it feels like home.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
In the beginning of it, was it hard for the relationship if she would travel and have all these shows and really like be in the nightlife scene?
No, it was I don't think it's ever been an issue.
There was like no trust issues ever. No. Like, wow, that's amazing.
I've never felt like I couldn't trust my fiance ever in my entire life.
And that's how you know she's in a healthy relationship, everybody.
Yeah, I don't know if she'd say the same.
We're gonna say yes.
It's been a long time, but I was also like 21 when she met me. You know what I mean? I was still very much learning by my mistakes.
You were 21 when you guys met?
Yeah, I'm 27 now. It's like crazy. The numbers don't map to me.
Yeah.
Because we met at the end of a year and then got engaged a year later, but a year and a month. So then it's like 2 years on paper, but it was only a year and a month. So like, I don't know, the math is weird.
And you got engaged at
Holy Ship.
Holy Ship, which is a music festival where?
Dominican Republic.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
How was that? What was that moment like of like getting engaged?
It was crackhead hours.
Did you know?
No, and I should have. Like, I literally should have known. She was like, we have to get our nails done. And I was like, okay, whatever. So we get there and they're like, we can only do one. And she's like, you do them. I was like, you wanted to do this. She's like, one of the only times yelling at me, she's like, you get your nails done. I was like, oh, okay. And like, it was great because it was a destination festival. It was very intimate. And there were so many things. She kept telling me she had a surprise, but I had to wait. And like, I think that's how you know it's meant to be. If all the signs are leading towards it, but you're still surprised. Oh. It was also sunrise. And so it was like feral hour. Like, and I'm not a sunrise girly. Like, I don't stay up till the sun comes out. I feel weird.
Yeah.
And we were vlogging at the time. I thought she was emceeing during Chris Lake. Like, I thought that like Pasquale just was like, get on the mic for fun or something. So I like pull out my phone like I'm filming, and then I start to figure it out because I see like somebody standing with like a bottle of champagne and like 8 cameramen, and I'm holding my phone and I went like this. I didn't say anything, and then I like tackled her, and she's like, "Is that a yes?" And I was like,
"Oh my God."
Yes. And my voice like cracked, and she was like, she said yes, and it was just great.
So cute.
The rest of the trip, people were like, "Congratulations," and it was beautiful. I told her I didn't want to be engaged to like at a festival.
Yeah.
But I think it was different. We were on the beach. There wasn't that many people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's like, it wasn't like a rate, like hundreds of thousands of people. I think the way it all got set up, Corinne was planning to do it that trip, and they were like, Chris Lake's down to do it during a sunrise set, which was supposed to be, I think, the ending set, the big one. This was like, I wasn't even with her for that many festivals at this point, so I didn't know the flow.
Yeah.
I didn't like staying up till the sun came up either.
That is amazing.
Yeah. No, I should have known so many ways. even when you look at our vlog, you can tell. You know what I mean? We did 2 parts. So we did like the first part and the second part. You could tell she was up to something.
Would you say that's your craziest festival story, or do you have another, like, what's your craziest?
So I wrote these ones down. Okay, I have 3. Do you want the best, the worst, or the scariest?
Let's go with the worst.
Okay. The worst was actually my first festival.
Okay.
I learned everything in 1 day, 2 days. So first of all, we leave the house, we had tickets, it was to Hard Summer. We forgot the tickets at the house.
Oh no.
So we're halfway to the hotel, we turn around, get the tickets, we get to the hotel. We get to the festival, we left the tickets in the hotel.
Oh no.
We drove in with friends, so we had to Uber there and back to get the tickets.
Oh.
They did that thing where they're like, we know you have stuff on you, give it to us now and you won't go to jail. My ex fell for it. Lost all of our product. Our friend, whatever, the next day, the people who brought us that had been raving forever, they were like, we can bring your stuff in for you. So we're like, sick, you know? So we get in, they're like, we're gonna go to the beer garden, we're gonna pull it out and then come bring it to you. This is at like noon. We didn't hear from them till 9 p.m. They came back, all of our stuff, they didn't have it. They had like garbage, like leftover, da-da-da, whatever. They're like, here's this. I'm like, our whole festival experience was ruined. We sat outside the beer garden waiting for them for like 9 hours.
No
And
way.
at the time, like we didn't know what to do. We had never been to a festival. I would have just frolicked and figured it out.
Yeah.
But it was just so bad. So bad. So I learned all my lessons that day. And I remember we were like, okay, if he comes back with our stuff, like we'll just like take our stuff and go see the last set, which is a terrible idea, but this was like my first rave, right? So when he comes back, my ex was like pissed and we're leaving, but I had already taken my stuff because I thought that was the plan. So I just had to be like rolling the whole way home. It was bad.
Oh my God. Okay, now give us the best.
The
Sorry,
best?
that was the worst.
The best was Electric Forest.
Ooh, that's a good one.
My friend Claudine got these squid hats.
Cute.
And we were wearing matching squid hats.
Was this last year?
Yeah, not this year, but the year before.
Yeah.
And we were just running around like the forest being squids, and we would put vodka in like water bottles because we were in the cabin, so we would just like fill our stuff. We would call it like seawater.
Oh my gosh.
And it was so cute. Like all the kids that we were with loved them so much that at the end of it we did like a squid ceremony and we like passed on the hats to like the younger generation. It was just
my God.
It was so wholesome and cute.
That is really, really cute.
I'll never forget that.
I feel like your festival experiences now are very different than most people because you tend to go with the owner of Insomniac.
Yeah, it feels very normal because it's all I know for the most part. Like we became friends with everybody probably within like a year of knowing Corinne, and then like right after that Corinne engaged or proposed, and it's just, you know, been that. But at the same time, like we've had festivals where Corinne has 3 sets in 1 day or something.
Jeez.
And so having, you know, that being seasoned like that helps, I think, with working. And then when I started working with Volta, it was also very convenient to just have my lay of the land, have my friends with the golf carts that could like take me to work, you know?
Yeah, so for those that don't know, what is Volta?
Oh, well. At Insomniac events, there are beauty bar installations. You can go in and get your makeup done and your hair done. Volta is a makeup brand. Their glitter is incredible. It's super rave proof, comes off with water, and it's just like honestly the best thing when you're at a rave and you just like want to feel really cute. But I helped them with like getting the artists and helping them learn how to braid and just like all that good stuff. Yeah, so you should check out Volta, make an appointment in VIP.
I feel like for me, as soon as I got to LA, not even before I got to LA, it's like whenever I met Dexter, I was also in this group because Dexter was their photographer. So my first EDC, I'm like at Pasquale's table. I'm meeting Paris Hilton. I met Shaun White, and I was like,
met Paris Hilton.
She came to the table, and I was like, Paris Hilton, and she was like, hey.
I think I saw her. I saw her that year. I think I know what you're talking about.
She was in a blue like butterfly thing.
Yeah, I wasn't. At that time, I had just met Corinne. We didn't know Pasquale, and we were just there.
Yeah, I would say Paris Hilton's probably like the most famous person I've met at a festival.
Really?
Besides like DJs.
Mine is the fighter, Mike Tyson. I was like, what's his name? Mike Tyson.
Okay, that's cool. Was he nice?
Yeah, he was nice.
Huh.
He's nice.
Interesting.
He's nice.
He's nice. He didn't bite your ear off. That's fun.
Yeah. No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
Oh my gosh. How do you balance all the partying and having like a normal life and like working? Cause you be out there in the streets a lot.
It's hard. I have to be on top of my schedule. Like if I'm going in and out of town, I'm triple confirming. I'm like making sure my schedule is to a T. I also incorporate work while I'm traveling, so I feel like my mental prepping, like pre-prepping, packing. I had your stuff ready to go to come out here like 3 days ago, you know? And if I didn't have it, I knew that I was gonna be going to get it, to obtain it, to like bring it here. I have my next trip that I leave for Florida on the 4th, I'm already packed for that.
Damn.
Yeah. Just because when I go home, I have to be right in the salon working.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Also working out, logging my food on MyFitnessPal, being aware of what I'm eating, taking supplements like magnesium at night, electrolyte water in the morning. Those are like gonna really help you survive.
Cause every single time I go to EDC, you're definitely one of the people that I'm like most excited to see, especially now that I'm not in LA and I'm like, where's Megan? And it's like my goal to find you every time. I love it. It really is, because it's so funny. You're like this just ball of light, always with a smile on your face, like jumping around, like so in the best moods.
It's always it's when you guys are there. Like, you know what I mean? You see me at my best because you're there.
Oh.
Like, sometimes people will probably say they see me and I might just be standing there, maybe because everyone's working.
Yeah.
There's no girls around or something.
True.
It's like just me.
Because I've never seen you look miserable at a festival. You know, there's people that like are just standing there on their phones. Like, never. I don't think I've seen you on your phone once at a festival.
Because I'm not allowed.
Unless you're texting. Look at these dogs fighting. Knock it off, you two.
That would be me and Corinne if I was pouting at a festival. So.
Oh my gosh.
I'm just kidding. I know I'm being brought to be part of entertainment for the group. Yeah. So I must provide. I think
we were really entertaining this year at Fred Again's set because we were
escaped.
I took over some random people's table. They weren't there. I don't know.
Nobody had a table over there.
Their section was so packed you couldn't even get in. And I was like, I'm not about it.
Pretend there's like a bar right here. And I was like pushed up on the bar and there's like 100 people behind me and Jamie's just right down here.
I had like a whole dance floor to myself. There was like a couple people that started coming, but like no one was there. And then you hopped over and we're like running around on these couches, jumping around.
I was really overwhelmed actually at one point. And then when I escaped, I felt free.
Yeah.
Like I literally, immediately my mood was better.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh.
It was great because Corinne was still back there, like behind the rail, and then I remember her like handing us this big bottle of champagne, and we're like, woo! But it is so funny because the dynamic, like picture me and Megan running around, jumping on these couches, and then Corinne's just there like laughing. And, like vibing in her own little spot. It was so funny. I love that.
She loves it. I was like, come down here, babe. It's better.
And she's like, no.
You must escape with me.
I will say though, he played this one song and it definitely got a little moody and all the couples coupled up. And I'm by my lonesome, okay? but I could still vibe alone. So I was doing my thing, but I remember seeing you and Corinne just like holding each other and dancing.
I remember this moment. I remember being like, this is so cute. I think it was Adore You or something.
Yeah. And I was just like looking at you guys like so happy for you because I was like, dude, they are in love and I am just so happy and this is so cute. And I was like loving you guys loving each other from the side. I was like, look at them. And I'm like, Fred again, yay.
It's hard to find those moments now at festivals, especially when a lot of the times we're at a set and she's working, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't get to have that
That's true.
moment.
So for EDC, it's like, for you guys that don't know, it's 3 days. For you, it's like 5, and you camp.
One year, the year that Volta launched, I was there for 3 weeks, and I camped on site for like the whole week before the festival. No vendors, like no nothing, barely any bathrooms, like nothing.
Oh my gosh. So we need tips on how do you survive camping at a festival and staying up so much, and if you partake in any, you know, substances.
That's
like,
the thing.
What are your tips? How do you
Partaking,
survive?
you gotta keep to a minimum or do it at your right pace. Honestly, I used to go crazy at festivals when I was GA raving, and then I remembered like, well, actually, I couldn't remember anything, and I'm like, this isn't fun. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Or I would just do something embarrassing, or just there was a set that I was really looking forward to that I can barely recall. I don't know. And then you don't feel good the next day. So I would say drinking alcohol is probably not a good idea. And if you're gonna do it, I wouldn't recommend doing it in the day.
Yeah.
Unless you plan to take a nap, but even then, I don't like waking up after being drunk sometimes. It's not good. I would not do Molly, personally. I don't know if we're allowed to talk about all that on here, but I just
You
wouldn't.
can talk about whatever you want to talk about.
I would just stick to like maybe some mushrooms, but also like I pack protein powders or like my protein drinks to have in the morning, or granola bars and electrolytes and supplements. All that stuff is always gonna like save you.
Yeah.
But
If you guys are wondering
prioritizing
what
sleep.
the noises are, the dogs. I got a puppy and the dogs are playing around right now. I don't know if you can see them, but you could probably hear them. It's really funny. But prioritizing sleep, definitely.
I've seen some people get really weird after they don't sleep.
I get cranky. I get like very cranky if I'm not getting a good enough sleep.
Well, if you have any sort of chemical imbalance and you don't sleep and you are partaking, you can like put yourself in an episode. And like the last thing you want is like that to happen in public.
Yeah.
But even looking back like at my memory of being engaged to, like I don't fully remember it. I feel like that wasn't me. Like so I don't know, I guess act with intention, be aware of what you're doing, and like don't try to chase a high or anything. Just enjoy the people that are like around you and find like the joy in that instead of like needing some sort of substance, because you're probably lacking something else somewhere else.
I love that.
If that's like your MO when you're going to a festival. I think a festival is the worst place to partake. Actually, you're in a huge crowd with a bunch of people.
Strangers mostly.
Yeah, like, have you ever walked through a med tent? Like, I don't want to be in that if I'm not okay, you know?
Yeah, I would much rather be in my home, like surrounded by people that care about me, like in the safety of my own stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Risky. So if you were to, like, what is your go-to thing? Mushrooms, you would say?
Yeah, mushrooms are like the all reliable, tried and true.
Yeah.
Tried and true. Otherwise, like, I like a drink here or there. I like champagne a lot at festivals because with liquor you can just get drunk really fast, or I have to go to the bathroom a lot. Like with champagne, I feel like I can just sip it and it's a vibe.
That is a cute little vibe. My therapist told me, actually, to microdose mushrooms on occasion, like every now and then, just because it gets you out of your head more.
sometimes, like, even then, like, I have a lot of friends who don't drink, but they'll take mushrooms. And so, like, if it's going to be any type of event or whatever it is, like, it's just a little bit, too. It's not...
Yeah, you're not, like, tripping. You're not seeing anything different, you know?
I'm never taking that much at a time anyways. I don't...
Yeah.
You know, those people that are like, oh, I took a whole eighth. I don't...
You're trying to see the universe.
Yeah, I'm not trying to do anything.
Have you ever had any experiences like that? Like, when you did take, like, an eighth and you went...
With mushrooms, no. Because you work yourself up to it. I felt like I would always nibble on them anyways. I never took too much at once.
Yeah.
But like I've had it happen with acid. But I think like the first few times I took acid, I never felt it. I think my body knew I was not ready for it in the craziest way. And I was in a very safe space with my like really close friends and my fiance. We were still dating at the time. I was 21, kind of getting into the habit of probably gonna be an alcoholic if I keep drinking at brunch like this or whatever. And we took this acid. It was really strong. Nobody was expecting it. And I just was, I was somewhere else. I did 10 years of therapy in one sitting. I was laughing and crying in a loop.
Oh my God.
Because I was getting scared of my thoughts, and then I would like realize that Corinne was there and I would feel safe, so I'd start like laughing.
Yeah.
Because I was like, no, I'm good. And at one point I looked at her and I was like, who's more powerful? And she was like, I don't know, you are, which was not what I was trying to hear in the moment. I wanted her to say she was and that she was gonna save me. But that's when I realized only I can save myself.
Ooh.
Only I can get myself out of this.
Yeah.
And I just held on for the ride. We were just in a little hotel and we went outside, whatever. And the next day I just like didn't have that urge to drink or like a craving or any of that. And it just, my relationship and mentality when it came to drinking was completely different.
That's amazing. I was gonna ask you, like, being in the nightlife, because there is, like, alcohol is so prevalent in the nightlife where it's like, is that ever a thing you're worried about, is becoming an alcoholic with being around drinking?
I think that's
so
always something I have to be aware of when I'm drinking, but I've learned, because definitely addiction runs in my family in all forms. I have to feel myself get tipsy and then I'm good.
Okay.
If you pull up and everyone's taking shots within the first hour and it's like 3 shots in 1 hour, you don't feel yourself kind of stumble to the bathroom. You don't feel yourself kind of like fumble with something to be like, oh, I'm a little lit right now.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, you're drunk and you're still taking the shots, and before you know it, it's the next day. Like it's, so I got to this point where I was like, every time I get to the club, they say the same thing. Tequila or vodka, orange juice, cranberry, soda water. I never know what I want.
Yeah.
I don't like any of those options, actually. Why am I drinking them? I don't even like those options. Which is when I was like, well, I do like champagne. I'll drink the champagne when that's around. Or like, I don't know, sometimes like there'll be like a lemonade or like a Sprite or something random and I can like switch it up. But I just realized I'm drinking to get drunk. That shouldn't be a thing.
Right.
I don't like any of these drinks. Why am I choosing to drink them? And that was kind of where I was like, all right, it's not gonna be in my habit anymore. It was a habit of finding the rider, making your drink, going back and making more drinks. Sometimes I'll just make a drink to have something in my hand. I don't even finish it.
So I definitely don't have like addictive tendencies, but it does like run in my family that people have been alcoholics. And I don't know if I just miss this trait because like I'm doing sober September.
Oh, you are?
It'll be October in like a day, and it was the easiest thing for me.
Yeah, I can go a month without like drinking really. If I don't have like events and things going around, I don't get social anxiety to where I feel like I need to drink.
Yeah, same.
My issue is that if I'm around a lot of drunk people, it makes me want to be drunk to be able to deal with them.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, you should not be around those people. Remove yourself. Obviously, I can't control who's gonna be in the green room, but if I'm around people that are just like wasted and like just drunk girls or something, I'll just not be there, you know? Or I'll just observe and like appreciate the fact that I'm not gonna feel like shit the next day or something, you know, but.
I actually just went out, it was like a bachelorette party, and I didn't feel like drinking, because I know like alcohol is so bad for you and I'm just trying to be healthy. I was diagnosed with psoriasis like a year ago, and I know drinking alcohol inflames your body, and so you can get more psoriasis. I haven't had it in like 9 months. It went away. I stopped eating red meat. But anyway, I just didn't want to drink. So I took some mushrooms instead, and I microdosed, and just being around everyone being like belligerently wasted and acting a fool, I was like,
yeah, especially because you're like
so
even more
hard.
aware.
Yeah, I was like, oh gosh, I really don't want to be here right now.
Yeah.
In the beginning, it was cool because I was like in such a silly, laughing mood. But then like as it got more and more, and everyone's getting drunker and drunker and drunker, I was like,
yeah, I had that.
It's time to go.
I gotta go. Like I went to a hair show the other day. And they were serving drinks. I get why the company did it, because people will spend more money and all that kind of stuff after they're like drunk, and like they're also spending money on the alcohol. But I came to learn. I don't know why people are showing up to like a hair expo and getting drunk. I don't know.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's very interesting.
I don't think mixing drinking and like working is like a thing.
Yeah. I would say you're pretty much like a social butterfly. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Because I swear, it's like I feel like you're friends with everybody. You're always in a great mood, and I feel like you're really, really easy to talk to, and you communicate with others really well.
Oh, thanks.
Do you think that's because you're like doing hair and like?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think because I've experienced all walks of life, and I've had clients, you know, that are much older than me. So before it's like this respect your authorities type of thing, but when your authority's in your chair and you're the one like in control,
right?
It's definitely different. But I've always been a chameleon, and I'm really good at matching people's energies and just mirroring their personality. I think when I was younger, people would like take that as me being fake, but I think that I was just like, I have so many forms of me. And like, I also think when you look at someone, you see yourself in them no matter who it is. So I think that it was just a lot of that going on.
I don't know, I wouldn't say that's being fake. I think it's more just, what's the word? Just kind of seeing the environment you're in and like adapting to it. And like making the conversation work. Yeah.
Have you heard that saying before?
What was it?
Being a coffee bean.
No, what's that?
So when like life gets tough, we would compare like the life to be boiling water. So if you were to put like a carrot in boiling water, it would get mushy and like squishy and be all weak. And if you were to put an egg in boiling water, it would become very hard and like crack or whatever. And so if you put a coffee in boiling water, it turns the water into coffee. So it's adapting to your surroundings and turning it into something beneficial rather than, you know, being weak like the carrot and getting mushy, or being all hard like the egg.
I like that. I like that a lot. And I love coffee. I'm definitely a coffee drinker. I tried to get into the matcha life. The matcha life was not for me. I will say though, drinking a cup of matcha made me feel like I had
drinking coffee.
Like 8 coffees in one. I don't know, the caffeine and matcha just hit me like way different.
Have you ever had the mushroom cappuccinos, like the chagachinos or whatever they call
I
it?
haven't. How are those?
I've never had one either. I've wanted to try them, but I'm also like, what if I don't like it? I don't want to waste my time.
See, if I'm in that predicament, I always get 2 drinks instead of 1. I'll get like the one I know I'm gonna like.
Yeah.
And then I'll try something else because I don't want to be let down.
I don't know about that.
And not like it.
Like at Sun Life.
Yes, exactly.
The
I
Wolverine
always
is
do
my
that.
favorite drink too, though.
Guys, if
best
you
one.
haven't been to Sun Life, go check it out. They have bomb smoothies. Bomb. I have a gift card, but you have to go. Okay. Do you ever get tired of socializing?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll have days after being on. I can't talk to anybody. I just don't want to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's nice because I don't come home to my fiance being like, I need this attention, blah, blah, blah. She gets it. Because a lot of the time she's in the same predicament.
Yeah.
She's like, I've had a day. But with the right people, actually, socializing will still charge me up.
Yeah, I would agree. I know some people I can hang out with and I can just talk. Whoa, some dog is choking. I could just talk and talk and talk and feel really energized and happy and like everything's good and I don't feel drained. But man, sometimes I'll be in situations. It happens at some festivals too, where I just like being there and I'm like, it's fun and all, but I'd like to go sleep, eat, and go to the gym.
Yeah.
Like just be healthy.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just with the right clients. Like I'll have some clients that I could never take full highlights at the end of the day. But then I have other clients where I know that I can do it because when I'm with them, I don't feel like I'm working because they're like giving me that energy back in a way.
Yeah. I know, because sometimes doing hair, it takes like forever.
Forever, oh my gosh.
I did hair modeling way back when, like high school. And she bleached my hair Elsa white and then put purple and, was it orange? Purple and orange highlights in it. Fried my hair. You would have been very upset. But
purple and orange is a risky combo.
It looked horrible.
Because when you mix purple with orange, it makes brown.
Yeah, it didn't mix, but it was just, it was so crazy for this like modeling thing she was trying to win.
Were you doing like a witch color or something?
I don't know. The style was insane. She made my hair into an afro.
Oh, I've seen this picture, I think, or something.
I think, yeah, I probably sent it to you, and it looked insane, but never doing that again.
No, yeah, being hair models, I have only heard scary things. Like I have literally fixed multiple people's hair who have gone to like somebody who needed a hair model, same person. Not gonna name names, you know who you are. And they would have to like fix it because the hair model, when you're being a hair model and it's being filmed, the goal is for the end to look good.
Right.
When someone's in my chair, the goal is for their hair to look good till I see them again. I care more about what your hair is gonna look like in 3-4 weeks when you're gonna feel like you're due than it does the day you leave. The day you leave, your hair is gonna look good. I just did it. It might be a little darker or cooler toned or something to last longer, but it's gonna last longer and it's gonna be exactly what you want. It's not gonna be what looks good today on camera and then who cares what happens afterwards because nobody's gonna see it. Because that's how it kind of works in the world with like being a hair model.
Yeah. Yeah, she did not care about my hair. Let me tell you, that was damage for years. It was a struggle. Do you have any tips for people? Because you have so many friendships and I feel like really good friendships at that. Do you have any tips for people struggling to make friends?
Yeah, I would say a big thing that I still do to this day, when I'm talking and hanging out with my friends, obviously they know that I can get distracted or I'll pick up my phone and I'm working, but like if you are sitting there hanging out with your friends and you feel like they are dishing it out, spilling the tea or like venting, put your phone down, make eye contact with them, like let them hear you or let them know that you hear them. Another thing too, like don't talk bad about somebody once they leave. I had friends in high school, I would feel like I couldn't leave the room because they would start saying something bad about me. And that's just like never a good feeling. I don't have that now.
Yeah.
And it's just great. Also, take people at face value day by day. Like, don't have expectations of your friends. People can change in the blink of an eye. If you're thinking about somebody, reach out to them. If you guys are just busy and it's been a minute, that little text, hey, I was thinking about you, I love you, I see you're killing it, goes a really long way.
Yeah.
Make the time if you're in your hometown to go see that friend that you once used to hang out with. Go to that coffee lunch date. Like that's the only way your friendships are gonna last. And I think like with blending groups, it gets really hard. I have become a master at it, but sometimes people are not gonna work in your friend group and you just have to know it immediately. Don't try to force it if you can tell. Because the people that are meant to stick will.
Yeah. I will say I have my one like best friend, I swear she's like my soul sister. We met in college. And you know, we have totally different lives. Like she works a normal like 9-to-5 job where I am a content creator like all over the place. And we never really texted a lot. Like we check in, happy birthdays, you know, like random check-ins throughout the year, but rarely talked. But when it was like, oh, it's your birthday, like you wanna go do something, it was always like 100% yes, and we would make time for each other. Or if I was going to Florida, I'd make time to see her and like vice versa. But all of a sudden, like she was not scared to FaceTime me, but just didn't wanna like bother. And like I suck at texting, I really do. If I'm not like trying to date you and be your girlfriend, I'm probably the worst texter you're ever gonna have to deal with.
Yeah, I'm not a good texter either.
But like FaceTimes, I will FaceTime you all day long. And so me and Nicole, who is my best friend, we just FaceTime each other like nonstop all day, every day.
I'm on the phone with my friends 24/7. I have long commutes in the car, so I have my friends that I have that I'll just call. And we just stay on the phone for hours. And, you know, as you get older, people will start to change. If they fade out of your life, so be it. But I think the universe brings people into your life for a reason, and it's up to you to keep them there.
Right.
But like, have no expectations of your friends either. Like, this was something I always said. I have no expectations of people in particular, but I have expectations for the positions they will have in my life. So I don't like when I met Corinne, I wasn't like, I expect you to do X, Y, Z, blah, 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 whatever. The person who's gonna be my significant other, my life partner, this is what I expect of them. Whoever's gonna be like, whoever I consider to be my best friend, it's because they do X, Y, and Z. I'm not like, oh, you know, Jamie's my best friend, so I'm expecting her to be this person. No, Jamie became my best friend because she showed up and did all the things that I expect in a best friend. So like, when you let go of those expectations and attach them to yourself and your boundaries, I think it'll move a lot farther.
Yeah, I feel like what you're talking about also is kind of setting your limits and like what you know your worth and what you deserve as a person. So it's like your significant other needs to see your worth and treat you the way that you deserve to be treated. And same with your friends too.
Yeah, and like, I don't know, some people will be like, oh, that was so rude of this person and da-da-da, I can't believe they did that and whatever. People are going through their own shit. Maybe they didn't realize it was rude, you know?
Yeah, I completely agree because I've been in situations like very similar to that where it's like everyone's different in their own ways, and if you think something you did is not wrong, someone else might think it's wrong and get upset by it. But that's when like communication comes into play.
Accountability.
And accountability,
like, I'm quick with responses. I will say some stuff and not realize it was kind of rude. And like, my friends will be like, either call me out or they'll like start explaining themselves. Whereas I'm like, oh my God, wait, that was rude. I shouldn't have said that like that, you know? But like, call me out then. You know, I know I'm a good friend. So if I'm showing up in a weird way, tell me. I didn't mean to, you know what I mean? You probably just read my text wrong, but I don't want that to be on your mind.
I don't know. People have been saying that it's because I'm a Libra, but I don't know. I don't know much about signs and horoscopes, but I tend to forgive people like way, way too much.
But forgiveness elevates your frequency, so you don't even have to forgive them to their face.
Yeah, you just forgive them in your mind.
Cause like, you know how everybody operates on a certain frequency, and when you have a higher frequency, like better things happen to you?
Yes.
So I have this like idea that like, well, I know for a fact enlightenment, forgiveness, gratitude, music, and something else are what heightens your frequencies the most. Forgiveness is right up there with gratitude. So you can feel, if you're feeling grateful for something or you're enlightening someone, teaching them something, or you're forgiving, you are operating at your highest frequency. So it allows you to have more in life by forgiving. And I think it's a good thing to be more forgiving than not.
Yeah.
Because I think that that's why you've like found so much success, because you've learned to just like roll with the punches. Like, you know when people will block a motorcycle rider so that they can't pass?
Yeah.
Or people will like move out of the way for them?
Yeah.
Have you ever moved out of the way and they like give you the deuces?
Yeah.
So that exchange in gratitude actually higher your frequency, and it puts you operating at a higher level. I never understood why people would try to cut off a motorcycle rider. First of all, you could kill them.
Yeah.
Second of all, if you move out of the way, they're gonna like probably dap you up, and then you're gonna be like operating higher. Yeah, it's like a free way to level up. Like, it just never made sense to me why people would be that way.
I really like that. Do you do anything to practice gratitude or forgiveness or to make yourself vibrate at a higher frequency?
I think that when I do hair, it happens naturally. And I notice it because people will be like, oh my God, like I could fall asleep right now, or I'm just so relaxed or whatever. But normally, like, I'll just do morning manifestations in the car.
Okay.
Like, I'll just say all things about me that I feel to elevate my frequency.
I need to get way better at meditation. I always tell myself I'm gonna meditate every day, and sometimes I do, sometimes
I need to be better at that
I
too.
don't. But I will say I was meditating in my sauna the other day, and I was listening to a song, but inside the song it's normally just music, like flutes and stuff, so it's very calming. But in the middle of the song, it had like a cute little poem almost, or just a saying. And it was like, can you love yourself like the sun? And it was like, the sun shines its light on all beings. It doesn't hide from anything. It doesn't hide from the shadows. Like, can you love yourself, all of you, like even your shadow parts and the parts that you don't like? And I was like, oh my God, it's so cute.
That is really cute. Can you? Do you think you can?
Yeah, I definitely think I can. I know I have, no one's perfect, and I have stuff I need to work on myself. But I think that's where like self-reflection comes into play.
Yeah.
I'm somebody that like, okay, if I get into an argument or a stressful situation, I do take pauses where I'm like, how am I acting right now? Like, let me reflect. Am I in the wrong?
Yeah.
Did I do something? Could I have done something to make someone upset or like hurt someone's feelings, or, just self-reflect a lot. And I think, I don't know, that's just like a good trait that I'm definitely progressively working on.
Yeah, like when I was younger, my mom would be like, how would you feel if someone did that to you? And I feel like that always stuck with me.
Yeah, like treat others the way you want to be treated.
Yeah.
Golden rule. It was crazy because you said earlier shadow work.
Yeah, which I don't even fully understand, but like I do.
So you have like an ego, that's like your shadow self, and then you have your higher self, which is like the voice of reason. And like your ego is there, it's not bad by any means, but it's there to protect you in any way it possibly can, bad or good. Like, it's going to protect you no matter what. But sometimes it does it in not so nice ways,
Yeah. Well, and I think too, like, your ego's your defense mechanism, so it's like what you immediately want to go to.
Yeah.
That's probably how you responded as like a kid or like anything like that.
Right. That's like, if you say a lie, it's like most of the time people are lying to protect themselves because they're scared of, if they say the truth, they're gonna get in trouble or they're gonna hurt somebody or cause an argument. That's normally why people lie, because they feel scared and like backed into a corner. But like, if you take a moment and really like reflect and be like, okay, if I'm honest, yeah, it might hurt and sting a little, but it'll definitely help down the line from a very stressful situation.
I just felt like, you know what, it's easier to tell the truth. It's harder to explain your truth after you're trying to justify your lie.
Yeah. And I am a brunette again. Woohoo! How do we like it? Let me know in the comments because I am obsessed and I feel like I'm back to myself. Anyway, now that I'm showered and we are officially putting my favorite part, the tinsels in my hair, we have some last questions to wrap up this podcast. So with that being said, do you have any sex tapes for any men or women listening?
I don't even have a nude out there. Not even one.
That's your sex tip?
Oh, I thought you said tape.
No!
I thought you said you have a sex tape. I was like, I don't even have a nude.
No.
Sex tip. I would say, I don't know.
Yeah, sex
I feel like
tip.
that's a normal question to ask. Do you have any sex tapes out there? Especially in LA.
Okay, well, she doesn't have that. But
I don't have any of that.
Do you have any tips?
Sex tips.
For men or women?
Don't do it. Maybe. I don't know. It depends. Either do it more or don't. It depends on the type of person you are. I definitely think you give a piece of your energy to somebody when that happens. So if it's going to be that, make sure it's with a good, like the right person. Your body recognizes people when they've been inside of you. So it goes deeper than that. And I also think for anybody that like really wants to be in a relationship that's young, the longer you wait, the less chances for having trauma. Ooh, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have high school clients that like worry about boys, and I'm like, the sooner you have to worry about boys, the sooner you start adapting bad habits or insecurities. I don't know.
I like that. I like that a lot. I know that I am maturing. I wouldn't say getting older. I would say it's like a maturity thing. Because back in the day, I used to be able to talk to like multiple people. And like that was fun, you know, like dating multiple people. You should date multiple people, see what you like, see what you don't like, yada, yada, yada. But I think I've come to the point where I'm like, I want to just settle down and have one person and just have my one person. We love each other. We go do stuff together. We live life and it's great. Like hearing you talk about Corinne, I'm like, I need to find this.
I think the gays got it right when they called it a life partner instead of like husband, wife, significant other. Like it is your life partner. Who do you want to hang out with for the rest of your life?
Right.
Beauty fades.
Yes.
It does. You need that person that you're going to have the trust of talking about finances, your struggles, your insecurities, like your weakest parts of you. Don't pick somebody who's intimidated that like makes you want to jump your bones. That's usually not the right person for you.
Yeah, I would agree with that 100%.
In all my experience, you know.
And you can't just go for someone based off looks because like you said, looks fade. We all get old. We all get wrinkles. You know, our hair falls out. Guys go bald. We go gray. You know, our bodies aren't going to be all nice and tight forever. So it's like, how is their personality? Can you stay in the room with them for longer than 24 hours without getting annoyed?
Like who do you want to sit at the DMV with?
Right. You need someone to make you laugh.
Yeah.
Enjoy life with.
And who's going to like make you feel the best about being you.
Yeah, who accepts you completely and is just there to like protect you and love you and care for you. Love it. Need it. So, if you could have your perfect day, what would that day look like?
My perfect day would be waking up at a 5-star resort near a beach with 0 responsibilities. I have hit my macros 2 weeks straight, and I have been a monster in the gym.
Okay.
So you know what I mean? I get that day to kind of just, I don't really have to log my food. I don't have to work out.
Yeah.
My fiance doesn't have to be on her phone. Honestly, like the days in the Keys that I just had was feeling like that, but just no responsibilities.
Love that.
Just wake up and exist and like appreciate Earth, my environment, and like the people, and my dog's there, of course.
Yes, need the puppies.
Yeah.
I'm going to the Keys literally this weekend. I'm very excited. Gonna celebrate my 21st birthday. No, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna be 28, so I'm gonna celebrate my birthday in the Keys with a couple of close friends, very small, intimate gathering. But I'm really excited to like be out in nature and just like swim in the ocean.
You're gonna love the Keys. I just spent a week there.
Maybe skydive.
You should skydive.
She told me to skydive.
You should skydive.
I'm scared. Also, Halloween is fast approaching. Have you had any weird ghost or supernatural encounters?
I had a ghost pass through me on the Queen Mary.
What?
Yeah.
Wait,
No, yeah.
like,
Okay, so we came back from Electric Forest. We went to Day Trip, which is at the Queen Mary, which is like everyone knows is a haunted cruise. It doesn't dock off anymore. It's just there in Long Beach. But that's the Artist Hotel. And so we had been in Michigan. We got a room there just to like get ready for the festival. I think we had every intention of going home, but I think that this is the Squid Electric Forest. So when we got to Day Trip, I feel like it all just hit me at once. I thought that maybe I was just kind of drunk. Like, you know when you're younger and you get like cross-faded?
Yeah.
Like it almost kind of felt like that. And I thought that maybe I was just exhausted.
right.
I was really hot, I couldn't move, and I couldn't take my clothes off. Like I couldn't move to take my clothes off, and I was so hot and freaking out. So I was like trying to tell my fiance, my friend Kenzie was in the room, and I was like apologizing because I just was like, I thought it all hit me. I also get seasick, so I thought maybe I could feel the boat. I don't know. I guess I was saying weird things like, the vibes are heavy. And just, I don't know. And I guess it freaked Corinne out. She barely slept, and she was researching it in the morning. Now here I am thinking I just had one too many beverages. But I guess that's a thing, and people have experienced that on that boat before.
Oh my
like
God.
this hot, heavy feeling, you can't move, you know. It's almost like sleep paralysis, but it's not because you're not like scared.
Yeah.
And you're awake.
So how is this place haunted? Like, did people die? Clearly people died on it,
I don't know why it's haunted actually. Maybe just because it's so old. We're gonna have to fact check that. I'm interested. I don't know why it's haunted.
Because normally, like, haunted places, like, people died in pretty cruel ways, and that's why they're still there.
Yeah,
Or just died, maybe.
I mean, but anything that's that old, people were like dying in cruel ways left and right.
That's true. Very interesting.
We should Google that.
We'll Google it. We'll fact check.
Also had this moment, my friend Kat and I, we were staying at a house that we knew was haunted, and we would like call the ghost ghosty. Like we would talk about it.
Oh God.
And it wasn't scary because this was like our friend's guest house, and we had stayed like there a lot, and it was daytime, and there's a lot of people at the house, so it just didn't seem as scary. Kat plugs her phone in overnight. It doesn't work the next day at all. We put it on every charger possible. It's not turning on.
Oh my God.
She goes to tell me how supportive her boyfriend was being. We're talking about what color phone she's gonna get, and the wall starts to make this scratching noise that we would hear. And Kat looks and she goes, "Oh, Ghosty, you don't want me to have a yellow phone?" And it like stopped scratching while she would talk, and then it would scratch after. And then when we would start talking, the scratch would stop, like it was listening, and then it would be like responding with the scratches. And we were just standing there like staring at each other. It wasn't scary because I had her there and she's really funny and it was daytime and all that.
Yeah.
We were also leaving that day.
Oh, okay.
So it definitely wasn't as scary in that sense.
Oh my gosh. I had one crazy ghost experience. I was sleeping over at my stepsister Nikki's house, and she was staying in like a very old apartment complex in Chicago. Like this thing, the hallways were creepy. It had this weird children room, like playroom for the kids, but like the paintings were so old and weird. It gave you like circus vibes, and the lights in the hallway were very dim and like flickery, and I'm like, this place is definitely haunted. So we would always watch scary movies, bake cookies, and have like a whole sister night pretty much.
At this scary house?
At this apartment.
How many times did you do this?
Oh, so many.
You chose to watch scary movies there?
Yeah, well, I didn't think it was haunted. Like, I didn't think anything would happen, you know? It's just where she lived, and I was young.
Okay.
So, you know, we're eating pizza, we're watching a scary movie. I'm barely watching because I'm scared. I'm just like, you know, they allowed me to swear. So I'm like, oh, shit! And I'm
Oh,
like,
you were like that young.
Oh, yeah, I was young.
Okay.
So we go to bed and it is, what's the order? I think it's it's Nikki, Jillian, me in the bed. And like, I had a nightmare. And normally when I sleep, I get really hot. So this kind of happened where I'm like really, really hot, having this nightmare, and I wake up and I sit up in bed, which I normally don't do. I would probably just lay there. But I had the feeling to sit up. I sat up and I turned my head, and there is a woman standing in the closet. Like,
oh my God, I've never seen anything with my eyes like that.
Full woman, but like wearing a robe, and like the bottom was like very misty. So like, no, I couldn't see like feet.
Was it like a blink and then it went away,
No.
or you were like
No.
looking at it for a minute?
Looking at it, and like the face, I couldn't really say like details of the face.
That's what people always say about ghosts. You can't see details on the face.
It kind of looked like a skeleton head almost, but wearing a robe and like a hair towel. And she came out of the closet, and I could see she's like glowing, you know, it's like a light. And then came out of the closet, went all the way around, came across the bed, and came to me. And I'm like, what?
She came to you?
Yeah, and I'm sitting there like looking at her in the bed. And then like, I didn't say anything. I'm fucking scared. And she went like this with her arms, like on me, kind of.
Uh-huh.
And like they're cold, and I was like so cold. And then I like laid back down, and I'm like staring at her in the blanket. And then she like tilted her head and then turned and floated and disappeared into the closet. And it was like a feeling, I knew she wasn't there to hurt me.
Do you think it was like one of your guardian angels instead?
I don't know if it was a guardian. I don't think it was a guardian angel.
Did anybody die recently around that time?
No, I think it was more of like a lady, probably an old woman that
was her house.
Passed away there, and she felt my energy of having a nightmare and wanted to like help
you go back to bed.
Yeah, because I wasn't like, it was weird. I was scared at first, but when she came to me, I wasn't.
You felt safe.
Yeah, I
you
didn't get
felt
that
her
vibe.
energy. Maybe she had kids or something.
Yeah, I don't know,
And
but
you were like this scared little girl.
that was the like one and only time I've ever like legit seen.
That is like a real story.
Yeah.
It's almost more real than mine.
I have a backup of that. I wasn't just like losing my shit as a kid, because my sister had her cousin come over, and he saw her in the bathroom in a robe.
Same girl?
Yep.
With a head towel?
Brushing her hair though. She was in the bathroom brushing her hair.
Did you tell her she could go to the other side? She seems stuck.
I didn't say nothing. I don't talk to them.
Yeah.
No. Okay. Do you have plans for Halloween? Escape.
Not that I know of. Yeah, I think we're gonna go to Escape. Yeah. I think I might be working. Someone has like a wedding that day, I think, also.
Oh.
No, like the day of Escape. So I think like I got booked for a wedding, but that hasn't been confirmed.
Mm-hmm.
I have questions for you.
Oh God. Okay. Let's hear them.
Same.
Dun dun dun. I'm scared. I'm not prepared.
No, they're not bad ones. If you could pick any other career to have right now, what would it be?
Ooh.
You could be literally anything.
That's a great question. Oh, fuck.
I have a two-part to it if this will help you come up with an answer.
Sure.
So my other part of it was like, what do you think you would be really good at, but maybe you wouldn't want to do it? Like, you know, there's like, oh, I would have been great at this, but it wouldn't have fed your soul, but like.
Yeah. I think, okay, for a career, I think I would do being a life coach. Mm-hmm. And that's definitely something I still could
I was going to tell you
do.
that earlier. You'd be a good life coach.
It's definitely something I still could do. When I was younger, I really wanted to be a vet, but I didn't want to do all that school.
Yeah.
So that's out the window. I think a life coach, because I really enjoy helping people. That's why I went to be a paramedic.
Yeah.
And then like social media kind of took over. So I was like, don't got to do this. I'll rather do that. What was the other part of that?
Like, what would you be good at but not like? I think you said vet probably though, right?
Yeah.
What your answer would be for that?
I feel like I'd probably like being a vet and like helping animals.
Yeah.
I feel like I'd really be good working with kids. So I'm very good with children, but I don't think I would enjoy that very much. Yeah.
Oh no, I would not.
All right, hit me with another one.
Okay. What are things you do to elevate your frequency? I know you asked me that earlier, actually.
Okay. I would say things I do to elevate my frequency would be like tuning into the voice inside my head is probably one way, and canceling the noise around me. So I tend to either do like a day or multiple days of absolutely no technology.
Yeah.
If that's like humanly possible for people, I highly recommend it.
I
think
do that.
It puts me in a definitely like a better, relaxed headspace. Art, I feel like when I paint, I'm being like creative. I'm using different parts of my brain that I don't use, and I can just relax and kind of paint like a beautiful photo, a beautiful picture, landscape. Listening to music, love doing that, and learning how to DJ. So I'd be like listening to music while learning and mixing.
Mm-hmm. What about when you're like driving and someone pisses you off? Like, do you have to tell yourself something to like not get angry? Because I notice when I'm not angry driving, cars will move out of my way. But if I'm angry driving, everyone's cutting me off.
It's so funny you bring this up. My sister and my mom are the worst. They're not bad drivers, but like the road rage is unreal, where like it starts to aggravate me being in the car with them. Cause
my dad was like that.
Like to scream at people, not gonna do anything. To honk at people nowadays, you might get shot.
I could have a semi truck driving right at me. I won't touch my horn. Yeah. So if somebody honks at me because I went in front of them in the lane with my blinker, I laugh. I'm like, wow, that's dramatic, because I could be dying. I'm not even gonna touch my horn.
Yeah, no, that stuff doesn't bother me. I also think that's from doing ice baths. Like the stress levels, it's like, that's unnecessary.
What about like when you're like maybe trying to rush and like everything's like kind of falling apart because like law of attraction, you're like, you drop the things,
Yeah, I would probably just remind myself that I can only be upset over the things I can personally control. So if I'm late and there's traffic, I'm not gonna be like, fuck, there's traffic. That's not gonna help anything. I'm just gonna be like, I'm late.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's all I can do. So like being aware of the things I can control and doing my part to like make my life easier.
Yeah.
That's what I like focus on.
I agree. Sometimes I'll just like have to be like, okay, I need to reset. I'm dropping everything, or like making mistakes or whatever.
Yeah. I take pauses. In therapy, I'm learning to, before reacting, before texting someone back, like people don't need an instant response. So just taking a pause, especially if it's like getting a little heated or emotional, because you never want to react out of emotion, especially when it's like, if you're happy, that's a good emotion. But if you're feeling some type of way, like take a pause before sending a text or like calling.
Yeah.
Or, like, reacting. Oh. Do you guys like it? If you want to get your hair done by Megan, you know where to find her. And if you don't, she's going to tell you right now.
You can message me on Instagram. I might reply.
I'll put it right here.
Yeah. And if you know Jamie really well, she'll give you my phone number.
I could do that.
Yeah, I take referrals if I know where they came from.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So if you guys are around LA or going to a festival, EDC, whatever, hit her up, get some tinsel, and we could be twins.
Yeah.
Guys can get tinsel too.
Yeah, they can.
Don't be lame.
No.
I don't know which way is the L right now. All right, thank you guys so much. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you next time on Keeping It Juicy. Bye.